Hi, tonight from Groovy Entertainment. Today we got another book to read for you. Today, book of the Berenstain Bears and the Bad Inferness from 2008. So let's get started. One Saturday morning, Sister Bear came home looking like a storm cloud. She stomped up the front steps, through the house, and into the kitchen. I'm never going to speak to that Lizzie brute again, she declared. Oh dear, said Mamma. Lizzie must have done something pretty terrible. That's right, said Sister. She invited me over to play Barbies. It was supposed to be just the two of us. But when I got there, Annie, Muffy, and Jill was already there with their Barbie dolls, and there wasn't any room for mine. But there, said Mamma, it seemed to me that you can't have too many friends. Yes, said Sister, but Lizzie was my best friend, and you can only have one best friend at a time. With that, she tossed her Barbies to Mama and stopped back out. Miranda Moss, who was about sister age, was in just as bad a mood as Sister. Miranda was new in the neighborhood. She and her family had just moved in around the corner from the Bear family. Miranda didn't want to move. She was upset about it. She was upset about leaving her friends, her school, her neighborhood. I know you are upset about moving, Miranda said her mother, but your father was transferred to the Beartown office, and we have no choice. Now, why don't you go out and have a look at your new neighborhood? Maybe you'll like it. I'll go out and have a look at it, said Miranda, but I won't like it. Sister was sitting on her front steps when Miranda came along. Hello, said Miranda. Hello yourself, said Sister. I just moved in, said Miranda. What is it like here? It's not like anything, said Sister. It's just a place. Miranda looked around. It's kind of quiet, she said. I guess, said Sister. A little too quiet, said Miranda, with a grin. Sister looked around. Maybe it is, she said. Is that yours? Asked Miranda, pointing to Sister Big Trike. Yes, said Sister. Maybe we could go for a little spin, said Miranda. You could show me around. Sure, said Sister, mounting the trike. Hop on. Miranda climbed on the back. Okay, said Sister, here we go. And off they went with Sister pedaling hard and Miranda hanging on for dear life. Good, said Mama, looking out the window. Sister had found a new friend. What's the matter with her old friends? Asked Papa, coming in from his shop for a cup of tea. Sister had fallen out with Lizzie Brute. Nothing serious, just the usual sort of cub sprat, said Mama as she watched the trikes whiz by. Any good hills around? Asked Miranda, hugging Sister a little tighter as she pedaled on. Lots of Sister, but Dead Bear Hill is the best. Can we try it? Asked Miranda. Sure, said Sister. It's this way. I know a shortcut we can take. The trouble was that the shortcut was through Ms. McGrizzly tulips. Hey yo, Cowbear, cried Miranda. Yippee, cried Sister. Miss McGrizzly was inside watering her plants at the time and saw the whole thing from her window. My tulips, she cried. My beautiful tulips. One of those cubs looked like Sister Bear. Well, I just might give her mother a call. There, Dead Bear Hill with a very high. Sister hesitated at the top. That's Farmer Ben's place down there, she said. I know, said Miranda. We bought some vegetables from him this morning. Well, what, said Sister? Are we going to go down Dead Bear Hill or not? Asked Miranda. I have gone down on a shed lots of times, said Sister, but I have never gone down on wheels. There's always got to be a first time, said Miranda. Okay, said Sister, taking her feet off the pedals. Here we go. The trouble was that there was a curb at the bottom of Dead Bear Hill, and they didn't quite make it. They rode into Farmer Ben's orchard and into one of his apple trees. They knocked down quite a few apples. Are you hurt? Asked Miranda. I don't think so, said Sister. Hey there, look like pretty nice apples, said Miranda. We are supposed to stay away from Ben. Apples, said Sister, but since they are already on the ground, they just rot, said Miranda. They scooped up some apples and put them in their pockets. Hey, how about you pet on for a while, said Sister. Fine with me, said Miranda, and off they rode, munching apples. Farmer Ben was feeding his chicken at the time. He didn't know how it happened. All he saw was Cub loading up his apples. Why, that's Sister Bear and that new cub. Well, their mother are going to hear from me. What's that big thing parked in the road? Asked Miranda, pedaling on at Sister direction. That's Grizzly Gus, a cement mixer, said Sister. He must be doing some work. Maybe we can write our names in the wet cement, said Miranda. The trouble was that they was already riding through it. Pedal harder, cried Sister. Steer for the woods. Gritty Guts was jumping up and down and waving his cement smoother. That looked like Sister Bear and the new moss cub, said Grizzly Gus. He reached for his cell phone. I know a way back home, said Sister, but we'll have to cross Mud Creek on those stepping stones. But the stones was for stepping, not riding. They fell in. It wasn't deep, but it sure was muddy. They pushed themselves out and headed for home. All in all, it had been quite a Saturday morning. The phone in the tree house and moss house was ringing off the hook. Yes, Miss McGrizzly. This is Mama Bear, Sister Bear, and another cub. Your tulips? Oh, dear. I think I know what's going on, and I certainly do with it. Thank you for your call. Well, said Mama, turning to Papa, I was pleased when Sister found a new friend, but it's perfectly clear that this new friend is a bad infidel. Meanwhile, over at Moss House, Mrs. Moss was on the phone with Farmer Ben. Miranda and the cub named Sister Bear stole your apples? Oh dear, I think I know what's going on. I'll certainly take care of it. Well, said Mrs. Moss, turning to Mr. Moss. Miranda seemed to have found a new friend, but fortunately, this new friend is a bad infidel. At the treehouse, Mama Bear answered the phone again. Yes, Gus, this is Mama Bear. rode through your wet cement, sister and another cub? How awful. I'm truly sorry, Gus. But I think I know what's going on, and I'll certainly deal with it. And to Papa, she added, the new cub is even worse, infamous than I thought. Sister not to have any more to deal with her, or to do with her. Miss Moss was just as upset about Sister as Mama was about Miranda. I gather this new friend is a cub named Sister Bear, said Miss Moss. I'm going to call and complain to her mother. Now, I wouldn't do that, my dear, commented Mr. Moss. Not until, but Miss Moss had placed the call. She said, the line's busy. It was busy because Mama was trying to call Mrs. Moss to complain about Miranda. Just then, Sister came in the front door. My goodness, said Mama, you are a mess. Yes, we fell into Mud Creek trying to ride across, but it's just mud. It'll come off, said Sister with a grin. You certainly seem a lot happier now, said Mama. That's because I have a new best friend, said Sister. Her name is Miranda. That's something I want to talk to you about, dear, said Mama. You and this Miranda seem to have been having quite a time. I have numbers of angry calls this morning. I'm afraid this Miranda is what you call a bad inferness, and I don't want you playing with her anymore. That's not fair, protests Sister. It's my fault, too. I was just as much a bad inferness on her as she was on me. Besides, we didn't get into trouble on purpose. It was kind of an accident. Well, you two are going to have to make things right with your neighbors, explained Mama. Sister Bea and Miranda had a very busy afternoon. After planting some new bulbs in Miss Grizzly's tulip patch, they stopped by and explained about the apple to Farmer Ben. Then they apologized to Grizzly Gus for messing up his new cement. He was very nice about it. He even left them right there in this though in the corner of the smoother out wet cement. Or the smooth out wet cement. The next day, Sister not only made up with Lizzie, Annie, and Muffy and Jill, she introduced Miranda to the game. After all, it was just Mama said, you can't have too many friends. So that was the Berenstain Bears in the Bad Inferness from 2008. So if you like, subscribe, share, and comment, have a groovy day. We have another video coming out real soon.